Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2 with the Terran player in the blue. It's the man, the myth, the Maru. Once again up against the Protoss we don't deserve, but the one we need right now. The smiling assassin. It's Hero. A best of 9 grand finals here to decide the victor of Stars War 11, put on by SC Boy and World Team League. They always put on incredible tournaments, but this one a little bit bigger. And arguably a little bit better. And speaking of, Jimmy, what are we? 1,324 likes on this cast, on this series. I'll cast another one, and I'll probably do it anyways. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you've had a good day so far, and hopefully it's about to get just a little bit better. And if you haven't made it there yet, it'd be awesome if you could subscribe. And I always try to show good games for the fans. Now, I'm making some assumptions here, but last time these two met, the GSL finals not too long ago, they met several times there. Hero has been one of the only players to be able to defeat Maru, just, you know, in general, but especially at this kind of level of play. But Maru was able to deal with Hero relatively decisively, though every game was action-packed chaos right up until someone died dramatically. And it was a back and forth. It's just Maru ended up more forth than back. Well, a best of 9 also means, unlikely, but potentially we will actually see all 9 maps in the map pool. Recently in StarCraft 2, we switched from 7 to 9 maps in the map pool, and this has upset some people, but rarely do you get in fact, almost never do you get an opportunity to see all the maps in the pool. Even in best of 7s with 7 maps, I mean, they're few and far between. So, starting things off aggressively, of course, I kind of just zoned it out because Hero walking up with Stalkers and microing against the Marines, well, but Maru slips a Widowmine drop around the back. There's a conspicuous medevac here. Hero, oh no, he sees him, but there's no getting away. Maru pushes him into the explosive stakes there and impales him upon him. Wow. Well, a Widowmine drop is a little bit more of a rare sight nowadays since the slight nerf to the mines and changes to the clones have kind of changed up the early game Terran versus Protoss. But getting the mines to deal with the Stalkers there, well, clearly Maru prepared for Hero's early aggression. He expanded on the high ground, so that way he wouldn't be taking unnecessary damage against those early Stalkers. He didn't actually get a bunker, so I think that's part of it. One Widowmine, unfortunately, burrows directly under an observer, which is like trying to steal a car right in front of the police station. Well, in that case, kind of like the police car. The analogy doesn't really hold up, but if you're looking the wrong way, when Widowmines are able to burrow, it doesn't... Yeah, that targeting laser... not going to be enough to help Maru get the shots off. The Widowmine drop is cleaned up. The real victory, well, the real victory was getting the 2 Stalkers at the front and taking that pressure off. Liberator comes back, sieges up the air. You can never be too careful. The butterflies, no. That's mostly to make sure it doesn't get poked and prodded out of position. And if he decides to use the Selectal Army Hockey, it doesn't get dragged as well. Though I'm sure Maru would never. Hero... Okay, Hero probably would, but that's definitely on the table for Hero. A Colossus tiptoeing out, navigating its way down to the 3rd. In fact, a Colossus rush, not even bothering with Blink, which is quite interesting in and of itself. Colossus is on the way down, shield battery in position. You can't overcharge till the Nexus is done. Maru kind of mispositioning the Liberator there, and will end up losing it for effectively free. Colossus trying to step forward. Tanks are sieging up. Guardian Shield can use the overcharge. Liberator not coming in yet. Hasn't used the overcharge. Doesn't even have energy on any of his Nexi. Hero chrono boosted every Nexus for probes, and now he doesn't have energy to overcharge his shield battery, which is a weird position to be in. Oh, just in time. It comes up. But are there enough units yet left to really use it? What about that Liberator at the back as well for Maru? He hasn't sent it back in. The Colossus and shield battery overcharge. Now just tickling through the tank armor, but eventually we'll get there. The second Colossus. Get out of the way! really struggling to get the damage done. Hero will clean it up. It seemed like he had a good start. Maru kind of missing an opportunity to send the Liberator in during all that aggression. But right now, Hero has 2 Colossi, 64 probes, and 2 observers. So none of those are particularly great anti-air. Unfortunately, the Colossi do not currently have a headbutt upgrade where they can go and just smack units out of the air, which I think is a little unfair since they can be hit from the sky, but alright, I'm just saying balance council. Blink is on the way. I'm not sure if the quick Colossi really gave Hero a better position. Oh my. He target fires multiple probes. That Liberator just finding its way in. And now, well, Hero is relying on a massive economy to overwhelm Maru here. He's not going to have better units, but he should have more of them. And Maru so far has not really... He's lost tanks. He's lost his initial bio push, and Hero's just mass expanding. He's got a Disruptor on the way now. That Liberator's still in the back, which is unfortunate, but Hero has 70 probes and counting. How many gates? Only 5, adding a couple more here. Oh, more gates coming online. Disruptor is on the field, and Maru feeling comfortable enough just sitting back. Wait, does he pull the boys? No, that's just a ton of units. Maybe a few Tacti-Boys for repair here. No, not even. Combat shield about to finish up. +1 infantry weapons is completed for Maru, but +1 ground weapons for Hero. If he meets him out in the field, combat shield about to complete. The tanks are all sieged up. The Disruptor on point will eat some tank hits, finds nothing else. Looks like a hallucinated Phoenix scouted the 3rd base, but Hero has a capable army. He's trying to keep tabs on things with the hallucinations, but it's pretty clear the army's right there. Even 3 Vikings can help to zone this out. Still relying a lot on that Disruptor finding a connection. Maru has such a strong army with way more army supply here, but Disruptor shot, not quite able to find it. Back to the shield battery. The Hero battery, once again called into action, is overcharged and will help keep these intact. Oh, no. Trying to use the Blink Stalkers, and he may have pulled the trigger too early on the shield battery overcharge. And now, charge is only halfway done. The sentry's gonna get the Liberator's back. Oh no! Maru on both fronts. Disruptor shot finds a bit, but he's lost 9 probes. Hero trying to zone out the Vikings, but the tanks are shelling the Stalkers on the high ground. 1 Colossus knocked down. Disruptor targeted off cooldown. Not going to have it. Without charge lots to close the distance, I think Hero was going to get battered into submission here in Game 1 with a well-executed but relatively pedestrian tank push. Well, Hero just reaching too far too fast. Here come the charge lots. Disruptor shot and a Dream. The Dream is dead alongside that Disruptor. The Viking tried to chase it down. Hero might have the production, but he's not going to have the economy. Now Maru has more warriors. Hero's going to fight it out a little longer, but a Disruptor unlikely to turn the tide of this push. I think Hero added too much production and too many bases. Didn't focus as much on just getting the units on the field, and Maru comes out with an incredibly well-executed tank push. He makes sure those tanks are in the right spot to make Hero's life as hard as possible before he ends it. Hero's holding on. He keeps warping in the charge lots, but at the end of the day, it's the economy, stupid, so GG. Maru, with a decisive victory, takes game number 1. Hero, I think, trying a bit of a different angle there. Now, the meta, you got to think about the mind games of best of 9. These two already are possibly the best players in the world at playing a long series. GSL is essentially, you know who your opponent is, and you prepare for them for sometimes weeks beforehand. And these two have faced off almost more than anyone else. So, between the fact we're playing a best of 9, and they're playing each other, I think this is possibly the highest level, the most in-depth, comprehensive adjectives, adverbs, and even verbs that I can put together to describe how many mind games are at play here. Between the literal mines that Maru came out with, which is a rare build nowadays, and Hero not going blink, which, just that in general. Not going straight to Robo for Colossi. The best case scenario for that would be if Maru opted for the multiple barracks play. You'll occasionally still see a mass barracks play. Terrans have been going mass marines and whatever else they can throw in, medics, medevacs, for about 26 years, so. But only marginally less likely to work in the Brood War than now. And now we have a Stargate on the way. I do think that game was a bit of a throwaway for Hero. Colossus first is... it's a chess move. The fact that the well-executed tank push was always going to be dangerous. And a Stargate is definitely more of a staple build. The real question is, does he go Phoenix first, or are we going to see an Oracle? Phoenixes are much more consistent quantity. You know you have the anti-air, you can pick up Cyclones, but an Oracle? An Oracle can potentially get the damage done, but is also vulnerable to Widow Mines and Cyclones themselves. It relies on kind of the element of surprise. But Phoenixes are the choice. Hero wants something to shut down. I think that Liberator lived to the end of the game in the previous one. The one that was hiding at the back. Oh, Phoenix goes out, Reaper comes in. You can't explain that. Doesn't even bother with the grenade. He already saw the Phoenix. And wait, does he see the Stargate off of it? No, but it doesn't take much to realize it's real. It doesn't really matter. Based on the damage it takes as well. Faking the cloak. Maru trying to telegraph it. The Robo's already halfway done. But that cloak is only intended so you don't see the little icons, unfortunately. But you see that the tech lab was upgrading, and now Hero's gonna have to respect that. Alright. I always wonder why we bother with Reaper walls, when the Reapers don't even bother with Reaper walls. He just pops the grenade over to the side and invalidates every attempt at Protoss architecture to stop the Terrans. And so far, that has been the story of the series. Short story, but... I think it partially has to do with, like, you need, like, a little corner. The stars have to align. Okay, you gotta wake up on the right side of the bed. You gotta make sure you brush your teeth before you eat. Alright. Not after. Well, not if you're Protoss. Because you don't have any teeth. Nor mouths. I guess they could have teeth. Where would they put them? Not important. Moving on. Phoenixes. Gonna pick up some of the SCVs. Another great benefit of the Phoenixes. Great cardio. No. Constant scouting. Those Phoenixes are sharking around the edge of the base at all times. An observer is a passive version of it. But the active scouting the Phoenixes provide is, while a bit of a fragile choice, helps out a lot with keeping tabs on things. As I say it, though, well, that Viking can land, possibly creating one of the most awkward and amusing scenarios in all of StarCraft. He does have to waste the energy, but here comes Maru. No, well, he has 2 siege tanks in the medevac. The Phoenixes are chasing. Hero knows this is coming. How many units does he have? 6 Phoenixes, an Immortal, 2 Adepts, and a Stalker. The fact that I can list them off so quickly is not a great sign. The Immortal trying to get the damage done has to get back into range. Liberator sieges up. Maru now trying to zone out. Does he have an engineering bay? He can't build turrets here. So that is one fortunate thing. And the timing is going to have to be impeccable. 2 shield batteries intercepts the reinforcements. Phoenix is cutting off. The longer that Hero can live. Right now, this push is not threatening him, but it's threatening his Robo, which is awkwardly placed. Oh, no. Does he let the Robo go in favor of buying more time? Bunkers on the way. He needs to have energy. He's building more Phoenixes. He lost the Robo, but he probably wasn't going to get another Robo unit out anyways. Hero is playing so patiently right now. Now, there is such a thing as being too patient. Those bunkers finishing could make this a lot more difficult. But Maru has no reinforcements coming. He's effectively behind enemy lines right now. He has to work with what he has. And the bunkers, well, there's certainly a lot. And the Liberators will siege. The shield battery overcharge is off cooldown. The Phoenixes have the energy. But Hero is correctly saying, what is this threatening? He's not hitting the base. Well, Hero doesn't have a third Nexus, so... Another Robo's on the way, a Dark Shrine. He comes back on... Maru, his economy... vulnerable. Multiple missile turrets coming up. Didn't quite delay the one. Another factory on the... What? Maru has... Phoenixes are inside the base. What is this? Maru's crazy. Like, he's pinning him at the bottom of the ramp. Smart servos on the way. He's going mass cyclone. That they do have anti-air capabilities, but that's kind of a crazy choice. The mass Phoenix just slaps down an auto turret here. He might lose a Phoenix or two, but Hero is controlling. He's camping Maru's production. He's putting up a tent right now, then setting it on fire and leaving the units inside. 4 cyclones at a time. The contain continues. But there's just not that many units. Charge is about to complete. I think that's the decisive moment. A supply depot was coming up. Some more Phoenixes joining up. Doesn't even need, really, the Phoenixes now. The Immortals are bashing through, and Hero has broken out. Maru. Well, actually, there's no anti-air, which is kind of awkward. We'll almost get another Zealot, but... Wow, this is super interesting. Maru's going mass cyclone. I don't think that's going to work. Cyclones are just not good against charge. Like, I was going to say they're not very good. They are not good against charge zones. I'm willing to commit to a strong not good, as opposed to not very. It's not going to work out if it's just the Cyclones. Usually the Cyclones are for supporting fire. They are the Goliath wannabes of StarCraft 2. It depends on the patch, but... Well, Phoenix is also kind of having a field day with them, too. Down go 2 Ravens! Nevermore, Maru. Nevermore. Siege tanks. Maru going mech against Protoss. Well, going mech is a bit of a strong terminology. He's trying to take us to McDonald's, but he's crashing and burning out of the driveway at the moment. Blue Flame on the way, but Hero has full control as soon as he broke out. He's doing the opposite of the previous game. He's not mass expanding. He's not reaching too far too fast. But instead, he made sure he built tall instead of wide for my 4X strategy enthusiasts, which many of you are, and the others are eventually, once their APM is low enough, going to discover that genre and realize that's what they wanted all along. I'm not here to judge. Okay, I am, but I'm not going to make it the main point here. Like and subscribe. Maru will survive. At least for now, he's going to slap down some turrets. Maybe he's been playing the SC Evo some. He's playing mech against Protoss. Then again, Hero has a lot of mech on his side as well. Everything but the Zealots here, and that one Adept that somehow survived is a mechanical unit. But and that means the Cyclones do bonus damage to him. Though enough to make the difference, we'll see. The Phoenixes, he lifts everything. Some of the Phoenix is going to be knocked down by the turrets. The Cyclones as well. I have no idea what's going on under there. Is it... Cyclones, well, the fight is actually kind of even. Which does not... Yes. Maru killed a lot more. Though Hero was attacking into a defensive position. He forced the base to lift, but Hero doesn't have that much economy behind. And now here comes the real bane of the mech Terran. Templar Archives, that has to be for Archons. Without Ghosts, and even to an extent with Liberators, the Archons can take a pounding, if you know what I mean. And what I mean is they have a lot of shields, and they can take a lot of hits, and they're pretty thick, if you know what I mean. and by that I mean they have a large hitbox like your mother, but where the siege tank fire does not affect a lot of units around it. The Archon, when well positioned, can absorb a whole bunch of siege tank shots. And with it, well, he pulls back. The fact that Maru is still going here. Hero attacked in. I think they both spent some of that fight kind of figuring out what was happening. I have not seen a fight with these two army compositions at this level, like, ever. And here we go again. Since we didn't have a decision to start things off, the DT is the most dangerous observer. A huge disruptor hit. Classic Hero War Prism just wanders directly into the fray, but the DT's still going. Does he not have any scans? What's going on, Maru? The DT almost kills another tank. Disruptor wanders in. Vikings over the top. Colossi helping out a lot. And that's more what I expected from this army composition. Wow, Hero stayed in the game to make sure he could watch the entire army die, because Terrans have a cowardly tendency to leave the game a little early when they think they're losing. When they know they're losing. Just denying us the excitement of watching those Terran units actually die. But that was one of the most interesting games. I'm not sure if good describes it, but I am. That's going to take some thinking. I haven't made up my mind on it, but it's certainly interesting. I don't know if that... He just went for Mass Cyclone. That implies it's worked before, but I think this is partially the best of 9 mind games at play. Where Maru's like, if I get the opportunity, I'm going to go for the Mass Cyclone play. And I'll put that on the table. Make sure someone has to pay attention to it. We're going into Game 3 on Crimson Court. All tied up. Hero showing he can hang with Maru. And then so. Probing the base already. But I wasn't sure if we were going to see, because in the GSL finals, we just saw Blink into tank push every game. Now, Maru's followed through on that. But Hero so far... I wasn't sure what I was getting into with a best of 9 between these two. I was really hoping we weren't going to see 2-base tank push every game. But so far we have, and it's still been very interesting. Hero came to play today. I'm excited to see what he's coming up with in this game. Now, Crimson Court is one of our most constricted maps. It's essentially like playing ARAM in any flavor of MOBA game that you don't want to admit to. Though my preferred is Heroes of the Storm. Still going. Believe it or not, Blizzard did not literally set the servers on fire. It's just their marketing and their PR is so bad, people assume they did. Anyways, it's the most fun ARAM. Don't be a dick about it. Don't be the guy who dies and then comments on other people on your team's build saying they're bad. You could go mech against Protoss. That's all I'm trying to say. Was it the right idea? I'm still not sure. I hope to see more. Hero with another Stargate here. Not bothering with the Reaper wall. There are 2 Reaper jump locations, so it's essentially impossible to wall off. Gonna be a Cyclone opener. I'm still thinking. Mass Cyclone. It kind of worked, but Hero attacked in so poorly. I think Hero overestimated the value of charge lots against Mass Hellbats. Hellbats are great against charge lots. It's just they're not great against usually everything else. They're slow. They aren't that tanky for what they are, and they have very little range. They're like Archons without most of the benefits. So that is why I think Hero overestimated his position with those mass charge lots. Does end up winning the game, of course, on the defense, but... And now Stim and +1, so guaranteed we're going to have Bio this time around. No third command center yet. Hero has mined through the gold mineral wall and is going for the 2:17 p.m. base. It's more like a 2:35. Why is it p.m.? Oracle flies through the trees, barely makes it out. Cyclone, not quite able to track it down. And we're following it up with Blink. Revelation slapped down on top of Maru's production line. Spylon. Spylon's got a buff in the last patch, by the way. They now have one more sight range. So, really, truly living up to that name. Oracle. No, yo, go away. Go home, Sam. Hero desperate to lose that Oracle, trying to kill one more SCV. We'll keep it alive. And while it lives, the Revelation going to be very, very helpful. Revelation. Hero's entire series so far has been all about active scouting. With Phoenixes, Oracles, Stalkers, just keeping right on the edge of the army, making sure if Maru makes a misstep, well, you can pounce on him. The only game really was game 1, where Hero was not able to keep up the info. We saw what happened then. Four Blink Stalkers looking to blink into the main. Enough to one-shot Marines without combat shield. Or SCVs. Oh, really? Okay. What's your plan here, Hero? He's like, I'm gonna lose 4 Stalkers. Okay, that seems like a bit of a questionable plan to me, but you do you, Hero. Huh. So that is what we in the business call not very good. The boys! And as soon as he denies that information, he shuts down the attack, he pushes Hero away. The boys are pulled across the map, and here come the SCVs. Hero's preparing for a drop, but it's just a full-on frontal assault. I guess he almost got a medevac there, but he didn't. And now the boys are back in town. A single Widow Mine, Force Field could be very helpful, but the gateways themselves won't necessarily last too long. He's just bashing through the gates. Shield battery overcharge, patting that gateway on the back, but the Marauders are able to help through it. The SCV is still waiting for their opportunity. The gateways have been opened up, and the Terran units are streaming through, and unfortunately, he cancels the gates at the last moment. Worth it there. But the Bio Army is tearing up everything. There's still some more Stalkers. When do you pull the probes? When do you pull... He's out from the Nexus, warping as much as he can. Still has a shield battery, a cannon or two. This isn't all of Maru's SCVs. He still has production. Charge is nearly done, but there's just not enough units here. The medevacs are nearly out of energy. The probes are pulled, but they're in a choke point, a prison of their own design. Another medevac comes up. A little bit of extra healing. More Stalkers. Shield battery overcharge has got to be coming up soon. Hero down to 40 probes. Maru down to 35 SCVs. The Stalkers are holding, but at what cost? 33 probes dead. Blink Stalkers looking to chase, but you can't blink down on this. Maru's momentum will continue. He has to pull probes, and there's just not enough left over. Maru has broken through. Hero's questionable. Stalker blink into the main, spiraling out of control as Maru's killer instinct shows itself yet again. There's not enough left. Maru's gonna go up 2-1. Oh, Hero. I don't know what he was trying to accomplish. I think he's used to doing that with a warp prism. Usually have a warp prism. You blink into the main, use the warp prism to get him out. Unfortunately, he did not have a warp prism, which made that second part difficult. And then it was too late to recall, or he would have just lost his units anyway, so... Maru does not let you get away with losing 4 Stalkers for effectively free. We see what happens. Alright. Well. Dynasty. Game 4. Yes, 4. Maru hitting these timings, and so far landing most of them. And it has been Maru making the What? Is that a... Does that Reaper wall? He's gonna go for the goal. On the inside here. Sometimes we'll see players try for the outside of it. Huh. Interesting. We'll see. I think he needs to make a pylon or something next to it too, but... The lengths we go to make sure Reapers can't get into the base. Speaking of... Factory's on the way behind. They're both going for the gold. Now, if this was Clem versus Max Pax, there would be a bunker at that gold. But Maru, more of a long-winded player. Clem likes his early aggression. Maru also likes his early aggression just a little bit later on, as we saw there. Usually, Maru just threatens around that like 70 to 120 supply timing, which is right when the Protoss is most vulnerable. Because that's before you get additional gate production. That's when you've committed to one level of tech, but the second one hasn't really come online yet. So if you go Stargate, you might have Blink, but you don't have enough Stalkers. If you go Robo, you might have Colossi, but you won't have that many gates either. The only way is if you open Blink and then follow up with a bunch of gates, but that has its own vulnerabilities. And right now, Maru has been picking his timings well for exploiting it. It's going to be Robo first. The Stalker guarding the probes at the gold. And a Warp Prism. Is he? No, he's not going to do a force field drop. He's building a sentry, though. Maru does not respect your shield battery nor your Stalker. He'll be real careful with those probes. He can get through the shield battery. There's no one here to repair unless Maru will be willing to lend an SCV, which I don't think he's going to do. Finally, the Reap. Well, you know, I guess just using the Warp Prism for this purpose. The Ghetto Blink Prism. One Stalker, stalking the Hellions. Hero! Oh, this, you had one job. Oh, no. No, that's not pretend that was what you went to. Citizens arrest. The probes have to be pulled. He loses 4 of them. I guess it could have been worse. So this is... Well, at least the Stalkers will escape this time. The tank will siege. Hero will be forced away as the tank far outranges the Stalkers. Sentry, more like sleepy. Letting the Hellions in when clearly it was there to block the ramp. Hero, pretending like he has Blink. Just making up for last game with those Stalkers. Trying to prove what he was trying to accomplish. This is an interesting army. Hero wants to attack up a ramp. I don't... No. Is there an Immortal in there? Indeed there is. An Immortal drop. Well, that's one way of doing it. Huh. Well, Maru's entirely reliant on those siege tanks to outrange the Stalkers. Without the siege tanks, well, the mineral line is vulnerable. Oh no. Well, he built another one. I have a tendency to do that. Observer on the high ground. Did he move the tank from the main? He did. And now Hero has an opportunity. He's breaking into the buildings. Tank coming back up. Observer will spot it. Takes out 2 depots. Maru supply blocked at 69. Not particularly nice now. Solves it, but has to continue building depots, slowing down the production. And the Adepts get through. Pulls out of the bunker, but attacking up to the high ground. He's just going to target down the tank. The Immortal Barrier will tank the tank hits. Guardian Shield helping out. Force Field, not sure if it's helping or hurting there. Juggles back the Immortal. The Warp Prism is far enough back, and Hero is inside the base, killing the SCVs, turning it around on Maru, who thought he had his bases locked down. But the Immortals crack through the defenses. And now with charge lots, even with upgrades here, well, the medevacs are going to be very helpful. Maru down 25 SCVs. An Immortal has been targeted. Marines and medevacs. It's looking good for Hero here, but there's still a small... He's pulling... Maru pulls a few tactical SCVs. Hero's just chilling in his base. The force field, but who's trapped in here with the... Okay, it's definitely Maru trapped. Dodges out of the Widow Mine hit with the Warp Prism, juggling it back, and Hero doing a great job of it so far. He just needs a little more. The rest of the boys are pulled. More charge lots warped in, and the SCVs will eat the brunt of it. Maru has less workers than he started with. He has no energy on his medevacs. All he has left are potentially two... Jeez. Well, jeez indeed. He's not dead. Somehow, Maru returned. 42 SCVs dead. But another warp in. Another Immortal. The charge lots. He's forced to retreat to his main. Hero can just keep doing this. There's nothing to stop him coming back up that ramp. He has enough economy, especially with the gold base, to continue this. The rest of the boys are pulled. There's a force field on the barracks. GG. Hero breaks through. He takes it to Maru, and he gets the damage done. Wow. Hero for the first time bringing out a 2-base timing, and Maru just not right. You could tell Maru thought he was locked down, all buttoned up, good to go, and then everybody feeling comfortable right up until the Immortal drops out of the prism. Okay, Maru over there like he's gonna lose 4 stalkers again, isn't he? Nope, not this time. Hero with a well-executed build, and so far across the board, both players breaking out new builds every game. Now we're going in to Oceanborn. Map that both players, I'm sure, have played at this point thousands of times. Probably our most picked map. I don't mind for our the aesthetics at least, as well as just the gameplay. Usually get some advanced macro games here. Relatively defensible third, and the 4th base isn't too hard to take either. Probe dancing around, taking a look. Maru slaps down his factory. Wait, is it 2 gas? Yes, but only has 3 total mining. Just wanted to make sure he had a factory as quick as possible. Reaper about complete. Hero did Reaper wall. Gonna expand to the low ground as well. Feeling a little... looks like we got a classic Blink build. Now, the Twilight is a bit ambiguous. If you scout the Twilight, it could be Blink, could be DTs, could be charge slots, could be all of the above. At least eventually, but 90% of the time nowadays, Blink is the choice. Dancing around the Adept. Reaper playing keep away. Blink it is. We're returning after a hectic set of games. We're returning to something resembling standard. What you might expect to see, well, assuming you were to play the latter. The Adept Not gonna make it. It's about as full of scout as it... Wow. That grenade actually significantly delaying things. A Robo. The most cookie cutter safe build here. 2-gate Robo. This is to cover all of your bases with limited aggressive potential. Unless he slaps down 2 more gateways, in which case he's going to do 4-gate blink all in. Maru? How many? He built 1 Widowmine, 1 Cyclone. He's got a medevac on the way, so... You don't build a medevac just to sit at home and defend. A medevac is, in this case, just for that 1 Widowmine, but... Very important. He's going to want to keep it alive. As long as possible. Get it back home and join up with probably a tank push follow-up. It's kind of similar to the game 1 build here, just with a Cyclone instead of a second mine. He spots the mine drop. Blink is already... Wow, that is a very fast blink. 420, and he's blazing right into the medevac. Retargeting, recalculating, gets a probe kill. Probe, see ya. But Widowmine taken out as well. Getting that medevac... Not a small defeat for Maru, but not a... Okay, it's not a game-changing victory, but certainly helps. Liberator being sent out. A second Liberator in production as Maru trying to keep any sort of presence on the map. Observer. Some Tactiboys. Here comes that 2-base tank push, but the Blink Stalkers, quite a lot of them. Enough to easily poke and prod and take out the Marines. Be very careful not to lose any Stalkers. But joining up with more Liberator heading in towards the natural. Just doing whatever he can to get the damage done. Hero, no reaction. 3, 4. I'm gonna try to get away as well. Head straight towards the main. The Stalker's going the wrong way. And the distraction worked. 2 Stalkers. Even blinked the other ones out of panic. Liberator into the main. Actually goes to the very back corner. He drops a mule to repair? Was that even... No, he still has SCVs there. He's repairing the tank. Pulls back. Maru has a 3rd command center on the way. That mule... Gonna go back home and mine for the second half of its life. I think he meant to scan. Initially there. And the mule came out, but maybe it was just... Hidden BM. Maru with the bad manner plays. Do think it was a misclick. It happens very occasionally, even to Maru. But the Liberator poking the probes at the natural, and Hero has all his Stalkers facing down Maru's base. He blinks in, looking for the tech lab on the starport. Just trying to bite off whatever he can chew. Maru optimistic, floating over. All the add-ons here being uninstalled. Okay. That happens after every update. Immortal, scouting Immortal, it seems. Liberator, hello. And goodbye. Liberator took a questionable pathing back home, and Hero's able to intercept it. Still 1 Liberator sieging up the corner. But... That kind of demonstrates why you usually don't want the Liberators to be out on their own. I think that was a Selecta army from Maru, and it took about 30 seconds for the Liberator to get back and show itself. Sieging up the edge. Let me see those toes. Stalker. And then... Stop it! This isn't Dronely fans! I don't... Like and subscribe for more. Now, Maru is building up to a strong breakout push. He's holding back for now because he's got the triple threat, the stim, the combat shield, the +1 on the way. But once those are finishing up, he's going to have medevacs and plenty of bio. What will Hero have to respond? He's got a warp prism loaded up. Charge will be done. +1 ground weapons is already completed, but the Robo Bay just started. Maru is taking this very seriously. He's got 3 turrets coming together at the perimeter, making sure it's very difficult for the Warp Prism to get in, because he cannot afford to split his army into small groups. He needs it all for the momentum. The turrets. It's possible he could get by, but if there are any units in the main, one turret is not enough to kill the prism. But Maru spotted the warp prism. So he brings the cyclone to the main, and the cyclone is still on the hotkey, so it comes out of the main like a lost puppy. Meanwhile, though, the charge lot's coming in. Big Widow Mine hits, soften him up. The start of this fight not going great for Hero. Maru moving up. He's got the Widow Mines to kind of cut the charge lots from the chaff there. Another Widow Mine from the back. Immortals. Anti-armor missile. Dorito Dust the front line and an Immortal. Trying to chase things down. Hero doesn't really have that many units here. He's got to be very careful about his engagement angle. If he gets caught on a corner where the charge lots can just get gunned down, he's going to have a bad time. And that Raven has another anti-armor missile. Not the prism! Oh, well. All the bios in autumn colors. Hero decides it's time to go, but the Widow Mines obliterate the Stalkers, and the Dorito Dust, the anti-armor missile, will handle the rest. And Maru! Hero hands him a victory, and Maru says, I'll take it, and asks for seconds. Oh no, Hero desperately trying to catch Maru out of position. But he ends up far out of position himself. He didn't spot the mines in a bit of a questionable angle of attack. Now, here come the Maru. Bring the boys! The boys are back in town. Again. As they're pulled to the front, though, a Colossus is going to deal with them rather easily. It's tanking some of those Colossus shots. The Widow Mine hit friend and foe alike. Zealots have taken down. That Colossus is the only thing that stands between Hero and Oblivion. And even then, another Colossus coming up. The shield battery's never powered. And Maru will be he recalled 2 Stalkers. I don't know if that's going to be enough. Okay, yes, I do. It's not enough. It's not remotely close. It's not even in the same zip code as enough. Not even in the same county as enough. A small charge lock counterattack. All Heroes able to muster. It's not going to be. Oh, Hero. That was the 4th base, so Hero does still have some economy to fall back on. But mostly thoughts and prayers are what he needs right now in the face of the stims. Of the Marines and Marauders. Ghost Academy and some Vikings. Stalker's trying. Hero's not dead. If he gets, he's got a very, very uphill battle here. Warp Prism somehow lived throughout all of that, but 50 supply gap. Maru, you can't fight into that. There's no disruptors either. The one maybe comeback unit here. Colossi hit hard, but it's not hard enough. Anti-armor missile dusts the backline. Widow Mines across the front. The charge lots evaporate. The Marauders pounding their way forward. Down goes the Immortal. But reinforcements have arrived. Warp Prism's back home, at least for now. Colossi, 2 of them, hasn't been able to put together enough to really work their way through. He tried, he had a Zealot in the Prism, so he couldn't juggle the Colossus, and now it doesn't really matter. As the Vikings knocked down the last one, and Hero. Ooh, that one had to feel rough. The medevac count is so damn high. Alright, Hero. Really fighting it out. Like the Maru think that DTs are warping in or something, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be enough. Maru breaks through. Three to 2 Maru. We're going. No, that's not match point. My reflex says that's match point, but no. Best of 9. You got to get to 5. Running out of fingers to count on. Speaking of, we're going to game 5. Hero versus Maru. The Stars War 11 Grand Finals. So far, aggressive and decisive every game. Probably Site Delta, the only real back and forth. But here we go again. Alcyone. You can pylon block the low ground here, hero. I'm sure he is. Building a zealot. Hey, wait, is he actually building a zealot? He can cancel at the last moment if nothing's coming in. Some players rarely do actually complete it, but it is a rare day indeed. Chooses the zealot counter. Gonna try to sneak by the Reaper. Okay, I think it's because there wasn't an SCV scout. So there wasn't an SCV scout, so Maru won't know that this is coming. Usually, in the past few games, he's SCV scouted, gotten a beat on the timing, whether there was a Reaper wall. But Hero goes all the way around. He's going to take advantage of that lack of information. What you don't know definitely can hurt you. He's already coming back home. Oh, spots the Adept. That'll force the Reaper back. But Hero may very well be able to delay the command center. Not going to cancel it, but the SCV, now the Reaper has to come back home. Maru's going for a Reaper Hellion opener, which means he has to wait even longer for more units to be here. The Zealot, the brave Protoss melee warrior, will stoically chase the SCV, who is marginally faster. But its life has bought several. He actually gets the SCV. The Adept shades all the way back. Joins up with another one. And now Hero, he's delayed the command center, which actually delays another supply depot in the build. Command center's count is about 2 supply depots. So Maru might be caught in an awkward spot here if he doesn't start a depot soon. And getting supply blocked against Phoenix Adept, yeah, he starts one. Rarely do we talk about supply blocks, but in situations like this, well, usually because players aren't being blocked, but at the same time, rarely are there situations like a delayed command center that crop up, and it becomes relevant. And gonna be able to lift up one of the Hellions, the second one, 1 HP. All right, it drives over a rock, it'll kill it, but, and drop it, do the, okay. I wanted the probes to kill it, but I guess a Phoenix is fine too. Phoenixes are able to clean things up, and overall, Maru not getting anything done here. Maru now going to be pinned back against Phoenixes and Adepts. He hasn't really killed any probes. In fact, he's killed exactly 0 probes, which is not very many. The Phoenixes don't have energy, but they can scout forward, working on it now, faking the cloak, but the Adepts now... 2 Adepts can't quite beat that, but the Phoenixes can definitely skew the odds. There's a Viking. Now, the Viking itself can be shot down by the Phoenixes until it lifts to the ground, in which case it can be... We've already seen this, okay? I don't need to explain basic mechanics. Maybe to the Protoss, who can't even repair them, but... He's faking the cloak again. Second time here, just trying to sell it. I don't think Hero's biting. No matter how masterfully he's baited. Yeah. He's already got a robo done anyway, so... He saw the medevac come out. He's like, really, Maru? You still try to convince me this is cloak? The Emperor has no cloak. But he does have 4 Cyclones. He has the Viking, Reapers, and Marines. So a lot of capable units that individually wouldn't do very well, but together, I have no idea. The Adept shade by. Uh-oh, wait. He decided to do counter damage. He has 2 sentry. What is this army? Both of you, what are you doing? What is going on? He's trying to shade back, but Hero has Phoenixes and sentries. He's warping in Stalkers now, but under fire. The Adepts, they're not a huge damage dealer, but that's why I was surprised they went across the map. He's lifting up the clones one by one. And the Adepts come back and are wondering what the hell happened here. But at the end of the day, Maru left with actually nothing that he sent across the map. The medevac is taken out, and the Phoenixes are still intact. He lost 2 of them. Oh, the Cyclones! He lost 3 of them. And now we got another awkward situation. Maru knows the longer he sits back, the worse it's gonna get for him. He needs to be out there trying to pick off some of these units, much like Hero was trying to do in the last game. Problem is, if he goes too far out, the Phoenixes can swing in. But if he doesn't go out at all, the Phoenixes are still gonna swing in, so you don't really save too much in that case. Hero now taking the gold. I guess he already has a 3rd. That's his 4th base, is gonna be the gold. 4 barracks on the way for Maru. Double engineering bay. Look, he seems to want to drag this out a bit. We're opening up the rocks. Hero gonna have an opportunity. Don't want to get trapped behind it against all ranged units like the Terrans have. And here come the Phoenixes again, taking another slice of the economy. Maru has a 3rd. If he's able to kill the Phoenixes, which is a big if here, even delays the turret. He's just hamstrung so much. Hero with all their gateways now. 6 more gates on the way. Gonna bring them up to 8. Actually, quite a delay on those gates. Templar Archives is halfway there. Phoenixes swing back into the natural. Turret not quite in position to protect. He's now killed 17 SCVs, and Maru didn't even pull him across the map. Though that... No, there's an armory on the way. Maru's intent on sitting back. He's going to try to get to 200 supply. It's gonna take a while. But he's pretty much, it seems, given up on trying to hit a timing here. As the Phoenixes have undercut him. His best case scenario is winning a fight so hard he can turn it across the map before Hero rebuilds. He's gonna try it, but he goes out onto the map. Hero's like, all right, fresh meat. The Zealots charge down. The Widow Mines do a lot of damage. But the charge lots. Maru doesn't have upgrades. He doesn't even have combat shield. Anti-armor missile helps out a bit. Without 1-1 in combat shield, though, those Marines are a juicy snack for the charge lots. 10 seconds away. He pulls back into the mineral line. Hero, that War Prism out in front. Be careful with that thing. The medevac saves some of the Marines. The force field traps the SCVs and Marines behind. A huge warp-in. And now Maru. He's got his upgrades. He's got combat shield. He's got more medevacs on the way. He's tucking in to the mineral line. No Widow Mines will blunt the effect of the natural. And Hero has to be careful. His units are getting kind of strung out. 7 SCVs, 10 SCVs dead. The Vikings, he's dropping mules behind the fight. Maru is stabilizing, but a massive warp-in at point-blank range. The charge lots are warped in again. He picks off some Widow Mines. There's still an observer with somehow 1 HP. Maru's holding, but down goes the prism. There will be no more warp-ins. And that means Maru will clean this up eventually. But we do have to ask ourselves the question, at what cost? And also, a second, somewhat less dramatic question. Why are you building a second Robo-Bay? Hero. Not that that's a particularly huge issue there. It's relatively cheap. I think he meant to build another Robo. Would make more sense considering it already has a Colossus in production. But Maru, it's not going to get any easier. He's got 2-2 on the way. Hero, with his disjointed attack. I don't know if focusing everything on the 3rd would have ended up better, but Hero felt a little discombobulated there. A fake medevac, or at least a scouting medevac. Widowmine slams into the Phoenixes. Maru needs every win he can get here. Going to be chased down. Another Widow Mine, this time on the charge lots, but now Hero's Economy is coming online. He's at that gold base. The Stalkers working their way in. Blink it out. Ground weapons level 2 about to complete. Maru's is a little further off. He's pulling back. The boys are pulled. Widow Mines hit the Stalkers, but another wave of charge lots. The Colossi, Vikings targeting, EMP, but there's not enough. Hero ties things up. 1-1. Wait, what? 1-1? No, 3-3, sorry. Math is for nerds. All right, we're going into Ghost River, which the first time we saw ghosts, the last game, Maru and Hero all tied up. On top right, we have Hero. Now, still, at least a couple games off. God, exhausting. It must be, like, playing at this scale, at this level, for so long. Well, it's not a particular... The games are not particularly long, but they are indeed exhausting. All action-packed, decisive. Every one of these fights could be a decisive one. Just take a moment. Stay hydrated. Assuming you're not Protoss. Thank you again to World Team League SC Boy for hosting this event, Stars War. Legally distinct. And thank you for watching. I'm once again begging you to like and subscribe. If you made it this far, all right, wake up! We're just getting started. Actually, I have no idea. We still haven't seen a single game go past the real 3-base phase. Technically, Hero had 4, but none of that late game back and forth. I don't know if that's better or worse. I find both entertaining and frustrating at different times, sometimes at the same time. I'm capable of multiple things. I'm a StarCraft player, or at least I talk about StarCraft all day. It's pretty much the same thing. But it seems like somehow, usually as time goes on, like take Terran versus Zerg, for example. So many games go to that ultra, somewhat puns intended, late game. Where you have ghosts and every base on the map, and occasionally literal stalemates. Protoss versus Zerg, a bit more dynamic, but Terran versus Protoss seems to be getting more and more aggressive as players get better and better at the micro of especially those early game units. Blinkstalkers, Oracles, Phoenixes, whereas Cyclones, Medevacs, Liberators. Both players are getting so much out of those early game units, and they're so dangerous to, when used well, that these games just... Even siege tanks. The nerf to the Widow Mine forced Terrans to rediscover siege tanks, which were not nerfed, by the way. And realize, oh, wait a second, siege tanks are actually quite good units. And in fact, we didn't even see any siege tanks that last game. But this time, Maru has corrected the mistake. Twilight Council on the way as well. Widowmine drop headed in. This is almost identical build to game 1. Thinking back in ancient history. Ooh. Widow mines. One dodged by the probe into the extractor. Gets the other mine. Blink? No, Twilight just now done. Oh my god, he walled off his immortal! I don't care about the win. Oh my god! He... Get me down! I can't believe... Oh, not again! Well, he's getting a prism. I think he started Observer and canceled it. Oh, he already has an Observer. 2 Observers, actually. But it is not a game change. No, come back! Yeah. A bit embarrassing. Pretty high on the shame scale. That one. Find out way into the Ghost River. Liberator taken down. Great observers. Means that Hero has vision of anything coming across at least the close locations. That's game 7, not 6. Because you... Yeah. Moving on, sorry. I was, there was a running commentary in the back of my head. I'm not used to a series going past 7 games, so something was... The fact it's game 7 and it's not match point has been messing with my brain in a way I didn't understand until this moment, but something for some reason just clicked. Like an audible click. Anyways, moving on, sorry. Storm is the choice. For the first time as well. Hero's going to... He's rushing. How many gates? Only 4 gates. Now going up to 8. Charge is done, so just charge lots. Not even bothering with the Blink Stalkers. Maru has his defenses at home, but he doesn't have a Ghost Academy. Has he seen the Templar Archives? He has not. This is a remarkably quick storm in the scheme of things. And having the Templar allows you to potentially feed back the Raven as well. And... No. He spotted the Templar. Oh, there's a storm drop. All lined up. Not as dangerous as their Brood War counterparts, but still plenty deadly. Raven? 0 out of 5 on Yelp. Please don't come back. Alright, we don't like your kind around here. Though, he actually got the auto turret, so the feedback ended up doing emotional damage as opposed to any real damage. Hero cleans it up. He's waiting with the prism. Robo Bay on the way. That's his first one, right? Yeah. Double drop headed out. Observer chased down. And between 2 Spylons. Something poetic about this. Well, the double drop will be spotted. There's nothing in the main to defend aside from a couple Stalkers. And the Warp Prism into the mineral line. Devastating Category 5 storms. And then recalls back. A dozen workers slaughtered. A double drop in the main, though. Does he still have energy on those Templar? More storms at the 3rd. He's wading through them, but the Marauders are struggling. The Immortals at the front line. Warp Prism still juggling the Templar. The storms on top of the main brunt of the army. Widowmine blunts some more of the charge lots, but Maru is being driven back, and another storm could drive him all the way out. And a final storm may bring him to the grave. God, it seemed like and that's it! He gets stormed right out of the game. Oh my. Hero with a decisive victory. Something he desperately needed, and that puts him... Yeah. That puts him on match point. Yes. 4-3 Hero. Exactly what he needed. Maru gets completely shut down. Maru reused the same build that he won game 1 with. Or something very similar. And Hero adapted and overcame it. So not only was it a decisive victory in general, but specifically showing that he's adapted to Maru's style. But we're now on a completely different map, post-youth. which describes most of the viewers here today, and also our most different map overall. You got 2 bases, one including a mixed gold and blue. You only have 6 mineral patches total, so this means slightly less overall mineral mining, but with less workers, you get more income. Though the fact that both bases are tucked at the top of the ramp makes it hard to really do anything to prevent them from expanding early. So usually we see a lot more aggression focused around taking the base on the low ground. Whenever somebody takes the base on the low ground, well, now it's time. Because overall the rush distance is quite short. It's just breaking up to the high ground is the difficult part. So Hero, a back-to-back string of victories, just needs to tie one more together. And he will be your #1 Stars warrior. Reaper just kind of gets in. Another Robo. Hero's done almost no blink, just straight up blink builds here. Which is very interesting, considering how common, even for Hero, that's been. I don't know if he was specifically waiting with all these new strategies for this potential match, but even compared to the GSL Finals, this is an entirely new suite of builds from Hero. Now, as we get deeper and deeper into the map pool, it's becoming like we're reaching as far down into the bag of builds, about as far as you can go. As Maru's starting to reuse them as well. But this is certainly not just a set of ladder games. There's a lot going on here. What is in there? A Cyclone. Sure. Cyclone drop. He's gonna sell it like a Widowmine drop, I think, but the Cyclone's still pretty good at killing probes. Only takes 3 hits to do so. Cyclone pops out, picks off a probe, refuses to elaborate further, leaves. Quick Robo Bay for Hero. I'd love to see a Disruptor drop, but I doubt in current year we're going to go for that. Oh. The Medevac did have boost off cooldown, but the Hallucinated Phoenix going to chase it down. He doesn't know for sure there's not more in it, but he can take an educated guess. I like how he pulled back the Hallucinated Phoenix. Just making sure you keep emotional tabs on him. Extended Thermal Lance immediately. Now, remember, he had an observer in the base. So he knows that Maru is putting together a 2-base bio timing. Hero putting, oh yes, plenty of time to build Colossi. Great reaction time. Dealing with the Raven. Immortal gets everybody back to work just a little quicker than they would have otherwise. Raven hanging out. Does not have interference matrix. So no real point in saving up energy if you don't think you can use it. The game slowed down a bit. We're getting down to it. As is he gonna go for the turret? Oh, what a combo. Tag teamed. Raven. Yeah, that's the one. That guy right there. Yeah. Cyclones and Ravens, definitely like the backup dancers for a boy band that does somewhat edgy music. But not really edgy, just like K-pop edgy. Yeah. One of them wearing like a shirt, but it doesn't cover anything important. Moving on. Extended Thermal Lance about to be done. The armies move out onto the field, and it's time to fight. Hero, realizing If he can get the jump on this. Extended thermal lance is done, but there's no combat shield, no +1. A lot of sentries in the fight, but with the Raven there, hallucination not a great option. And Guardian Shield not that helpful with this much damage. Those sentries quite expensive and quite vulnerable. He loads up 4 Widow Mines. Maru, in other news, had 4 Widow Mines to load up in the army. A full-fledged Widow Mine drop. 5 gates on the way for Hero about to complete. But how many warp-ins will he really have? He sees it coming, but the Stalkers are going to be too late to stop them from burrowing. Burrows all but one. Good micro so far. Scampering over with another one. Oh, gotta be careful with those things. Oh, another set. Widow Mine on Burrows. Prairie Dog micro. At work. Get out of there. Retargeting, recalculating. And buying a lot of time. Ends up getting 7 probes in total for 4 mines and a lot of mining time lost. As we see reflected here in the income. But overall, not as bad as it could have been, but certainly commanded Hero's attention for long enough for Maru to finish up his upgrades and reposition out on the field. Triple drop, loaded up. Maru. Headed for the main. Oh, but it could be a disaster. Blink is not done. The medevacs, they should... Oh no, the Stalkers! Okay. He sees it. The Stalkers were moving away at possibly the least opportune time, but the scan kind of gives everything else away too. Vikings. Moving to where Warp Prism could potentially head in. Warp Prism is with the army. Hero just needs one good fight to take the entire tournament. And this already arduous series. +1 ground weapons done. Maru's army coming back. Hero loses a few charge lots right off the bat. It's 3 bases to 3. So no distinct economic. He's going! Right off the bat! A Raven out in front, hallucinated Colossi. Just because he knows they're a hallucination doesn't mean they can't tank some of the damage. That Raven helping out of the back line. Hero just going for the fight. The Vikings, but Ghosts come down the ramp. No EMPs yet, juggling back. Warp Prism trying to help out, but as the smoke clears and the hallucinations dissipate, Hero's gonna be crushed on the field. He's juggling into the Prism. He pulls out the Colossus. He gets one more warp, and... But it's a disaster. He loses everything. He has no units besides probes. Hero, what have you done? Why? Hero he thought he had the game-ending army. He clearly doesn't want to let Maru get to that Viking Ghost composition, but here we are. And now Hero, well, honestly, Maru probably not expecting, if he just stimmed into the 3rd base right now, he probably could just win the game. The charge lots come in, Maru will pull back. I think Maru giving Hero more respect than Hero is right now. These 3 charge lots just kept him in the game. Hero had the economy. He needed time for it to come online. He threw away literally every single unit he had. This doesn't reflect it correctly. Well, I guess it counts the units in production, which is a bit questionable, but he had literally 0 units on the field. Still, a lackluster number. It's 1-1 upgrades on either side. Maru does not... Oh, he does have an armor. He just hasn't started too, as his economy has struggled for various reasons, including pulling all the SCVs to help crush Hero's army. Multiple Raptors. 3 Raptors. Oh, this army very vulnerable on the open field. He needs to land the hits. Decent connection to start. Fires off another salvo. Gets 2 more. Maru eating some of it, but the Disruptors are out of cooldowns. The Zealots at the back killing some more SCVs. The boys have to be pulled yet again. EMPs. Shield battery overcharge keeping it together. Another Disruptor shot. Widow Mine returns fire. Disruptors have heated up yet again, and the Purification Nova's flung out. Another shot, keeping him at bay. The siege tank isn't close enough. Maru agrees he's gonna move it further forward, but he only has one tank to force the issue. EMPs across everything. No shield battery overcharge. More ghosts coming up. Disruptor shot. Decent connection. Gets a couple ghosts, including a fresh one or two. Another shot. Almost kills the Vikings on the ground. There's no real reason. There's nothing left for them to shoot. He's going to do a mass Viking drop. What? He's going to drop the Vikings to kill the probes. And you know, they're pretty great at it. Oh, no. Hero. He really can't afford to split his forces. What are you gonna... and Vikings aren't terrible against Stalkers either. They're actually doing... And he manages to get his Vikings out. They fly away, but not how you'd expect. The sentries get EMP'd, which means no Guardian Shield for the upcoming fight, and he loses the Nexus. I don't know if he... I think he canceled it at the last moment. The Vikings, the survivors, will drop out. Maybe he lost one of the medevacs. Disruptor shot, parting the blue sea here. Another one over to Shaq at the free throw line. But the Marauders and the Marines are still growing in number. And the Disruptors will keep Maru at bay. But he needs to be able to follow it up. He needs enough army supply to engage. He has +2 armor for the charge lots. But he needs a good shot at the core of the army. Will he get it? Looking for more fadeaways. But Maru coming in from the right flank. He has a deadly army on either side. Without Ruptors, both these armies beat the Gateway Army of Hero. He needs the Ruptors. Hero's feeling the pinch now. He's trying to find something. Disruptor shot. Another good connection. My god, even Maru's not Clem. Big if true. Like these Disruptor hits. It's so weird to see Disruptors actually hitting things. I've watched way too much Clem. But Hero's making magic happen here. Another Ruptor. Decent connection. Double shot, finds more, but there's just no more units. He can kill 1, 2, 3 Marauders, but if there's half a dozen left over, at the end of the day, does it even matter? Has to dodge his own Ruptor hit, because friendly fire isn't. But it's just Ruptors and a dream now. And Maru finished 2-2 upgrades, making it that much easier. Ruptor hits. That's so much bio. There's just no gateway units left. Point blank. Pops it. Another one. Oh, bye. But that's it. GG. Maru, we're going to game 9. I can't remember the last time we saw a game 9. But here we are. Well... the final map. What haven't we? Oh no. Yep, it's Amphion. Probably our most vetoed map, especially against Terran. But we're going the entire distance. It will all be decided in the final match of Stars War 11. Hero versus Maru. 4-4. What a series. It has been just watching. It's a slugfest. Each round has been them beating on each other. There's been some decisive victories. I'd argue last game. A couple times now, Hero has tried to take a fight. And did not punch above his weight class. Those Disruptors almost turned it around, but I get the logic. Alright, it looks bad because Maru. I hate to be, make excuses like that, but I guarantee you, Hero takes fights like that all the time against players who are decisively not Maru. It ends up winning. But Maru, it's very hard to see in the fights. But making sure your medevacs are not moving with your army. And also, mitigating Colossus fire. Those are two things I think Maru, like, he might take the Disruptor hits, but the way he sets up the fight, just, it's not particularly clear until it very much is at the end, where there's just not enough units to break through, and the medevacs are able to really put the work in. And that's why Maru's medevacs are almost always out of energy. is because he's doing such a good job of keeping them alive and keeping them doing their job, which is pretty much everything that isn't actively shooting at the enemy. Healing, dropping, scouting, bop it. Robo on the way. Starport, the rough transition, but Starport as well. Hero completely eschewing the... he's decided no longer is he going blank. The Robo instead, as observers are robotic, so they don't blink. Technically, Stalkers are robots, but they got, like, Protoss souls in them or something. I'm not sure how that works. It's a souls game. It's been a hectic series. It hasn't been short, but it certainly it feels like... Oh, we've been here. It feels both like 30 minutes and 3 hours at the same time. There's the Twilight behind. So Amphion has close air positions. Mineral walls blocking off a portion of the map. There's a mixed gold base in another corner. So all of this conspires to make it very difficult to defend against drops and siege tank pushes, but at the same time, warp prisms and blink stalkers can have a lot of successes. What are you doing out here? I'm on sentry duty. We don't mind drop. Oh no. He's retargeting. Prairie Dog Micro. Oh no, 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 no! Loses two. Another one. Picks it up. Drops it out at the other side. Good split. Hero one bad Widowmine hit away from a heartbreaking loss. Maru has regained some momentum, I think, but Hero has been bringing him to the brink. I have the Templar Archives. He's gonna pick Storm again. I think a smart move here. We'll see if Maru can adapt. We've kind of tilted back to whether Maru can adapt to the Storm rather than Hero choosing it as the option. Because we're having an entire, like, multi-layered mind game meta develop in a single series. Which has a tendency to happen when you play 9 games in a row. Observer. Spots the drop. I think Maru knows there's an observer there. Does he have a Raven? He does. Where is the Raven, more importantly? Still back at home. I am reasonably sure Maru either saw the observer or expected one. He flies back home just to keep the threat in place. Yeah, oh, okay, well that answers that. Literally flies all the way back home, brings out the Raven and Viking. But here comes Hero. He's got a Warp Prism. And this sort of mini-game battle will continue. Charge and Storm on the way, but this time, Maru scouts it well before the Storm hits. Alright. No Ghost Academy. But just having knowledge of Storm existing is a big part of dealing with it, of mitigating the possibilities. So... Warp Prism heads towards the main, but he drops out the Stalkers. Thought he might decide... Whoop! The Raven. Oh no. Oh no, that Prism. He needs that Prism so badly. He needs the threat of units warping in the main. He needs to keep Maru at home. It's not optional. There is too much Terran to deal with right now. Oh, but the Medivacs! Oh, he doesn't get the hurt one! He doesn't get anything! Oh, wait! He got one with a few units inside. So, both sides, glancing blows. Here come the Templar. Raven's at full energy, slaps down the auto turrets, feedback too late on the draw. Picks up summon to the Medivacs, and Maru successfully extracts. Medivac. There is no blink at the moment for the Stalkers to chase things down. Ghost Academy just finished for Maru back at home. Concussive shells. for the Marauders. Trying to get the medevac here. Gonna lose a Stalker or two for it. Make that 3. Maru and the pylon. Hero actually needs to build a few more. What are you guys? Maru gonna expand to the high ground 3rd. Ghosts are in production, but a robo ban, a 2nd robo for Hero. This is our most even game so far. The last one as well. Most even game of the entire series. Assuming this is not a draw. But if it is a draw, there's no way it gets any more even than that. It's odd in and of itself, but by definition. Oh, the storms, the feedback, the Templar, and he saves the Templar. What a save! And he gets away with the Prism. He's opening up the mineral well because he knows Maru's going to be using that against him. And has he seen the command center on the low ground? He has his suspicions, I'm sure. And we may be fighting around this left side of the map. Widowmine! Oh my god. You ever used a High Templar to bait out a Widowmine shot? That's confidence right there. That's the sign of someone who baits with a master's degree. The Templars, more storms. Wades through it. Archon. Hero. Hero looks like he's gonna attack in, and it could work. But it also could go horribly wrong. Storms, the pre-MPs are not enough, but the War Prism goes down to a Widowmine. The EMPs have done too much. Hero pulls back before losing everything. But there's almost no energy left. He really wants that Archon. He's desperate for it. It regains the shields upon merging there, so. The Colossus. Now the core of the army. But Vikings are on the way from Maru, who has a slight supply lead. Widowmine blinks out of it. Extended thermal lance, 6 seconds out. Single zealot. Really trying to bait this out. Maru, 72 workers. Hero, 71. 1-1 done for Maru. Just +1 attack for Hero, who's working on +2. Maru also started his +2, but much longer. There's a scan. And he spots that Hero's taking a 4th and or 5th base. Really depends on how you measure it. I guess that's 5th. But Hero just keeping his options open while he stands on the doorstep. He's keeping him busy. The Ghost, EMP, doesn't quite land on the Templar, but softens up the Archons. Feedback on the Ghost. Snipes, but he dodges with a merge! Not the ideal, but much better than losing him to the Ghost, obviously. The dance, it's so tense. By far, the closest here. In Game 9. Hero is nearly maxed out. He's building Ruptors. Now it just comes down, like they both have the mid to late game armies. We're gonna see 200 supply. Hero trying to go through the rocks. And just breaks through, breaks in, runs up to the high ground into a concave. A Ghost, you gotta be careful. Thought he might have the violence of action there to carry him through, but not gonna be quite enough at the end. Infantry weapons, level 2. Leads the charge with a charge lot, but the concave is so good for Maru, who's chasing him down. The Raven has full energy, disruptor shot flung out. Finds a massive connection, but the concave is still so good for Maru. Knocks down a Colossus, make that 2. The last one tiptoes home. And overall, the fadeaway shot from the Ruptor, but Hero has bitten off far more than he can chew. And as we've already established, Protoss can't chew much at all. And that one Colossus shield battery overcharged for the split second. It lived point blank range Ruptor way too late. And Hero desperately trying to recover, but Maru was just a hop, skip, and a medevac jump away. And no, 60 supply down. Hero again. He had the high ground, Hero. He had the high ground. Hero overestimated his power. His power was not overwhelming. As soon as the EMPs landed, the concave was so good. Even with a massive disruptor hit, it didn't turn the tide. It just broke against the rocks. And now Maru. Hero. The disruptors again caught out ahead and dead for it. One more Ruptor pops out. The series relies on it. It's dead. Maru's tearing through everything. After 9 games, it looks like again Maru will be able to take it home. There's nothing left. 100 supply down. The upgrades, the Templar, and the rest of the Protoss. The last warping of gateway units. Not even remotely close to enough. As Maru reasserts himself in Game 9 and takes the entire series home. 5-4. One of the most intense, unpredictable, dramatic, heartbreaking, and stressful series I have ever seen, ever cast. But certainly, I think, a good one. Thank you again to WTL and SC Boy for putting on the Stars War tournament. Congratulations again to Maru. A much narrower victory over Hero than GSL, but a victory nonetheless. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're still with me one way or another. But if you got the means of motivation, be awesome to check out Patreon. If you haven't yet checked out the second channel, by the way, I got streams playing StarCraft 1 versus StarCraft 2. People have been loving that. And so much more. Well, mostly that. That's about it. But maybe at some point more. Either way. Like, subscribe if you haven't yet. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Good luck. Have fun. And don't run up a ramp into Maru's concave. Congratulations. Stay chill.